Hello, welcome. Today I'd take a deco at this film, De De Pyar De 2. At the outset, let me start off with acknowledgements to Datu for picturizing this entire episode and Abhinav for doing the editing and reaching out to all of you. And last but not the least, to use a cliche, thanks to all of you who watch, some eagerly, some by default. But may I, at the very outset, request people, please subscribe to the channel, and if you can, please tell a few friends so that I get some mileage and it gives me enough to go with and ensure I do the reviews more. Actually, it's going to help Dattu because at least he'll come in more regularly to shoot the episodes of the films. De De Pyar De 2, made by Anshul Sharma, to me, came as a surprise packet. We've seen De De Pyar De, it was a reasonable film. Beyond the point when you have taboo in a film, you know it's going to have some substance. De De Pyar De was an interesting film. Story, for those who came in late, is that Ashish, a successful businessman in England, falls in love with Aisha Khurrana, who's almost his live-in partner. He takes the girl way younger than him, about more than 2.5 decades younger to her, to his former wife Manjana, Tabu, and he has 2 adolescent children, almost the age of his girlfriend. The initial difficulties, etc., of accepting the new person in their life formed the crux of De De Pyar De. Roles reverse. Now it is time for Aisha to take her over 2 decades difference in age fiancé to her parents, who are constantly bracketing, branding, marketing themselves as modern, liberal, forward-thinking, etc. And her parents are played by Madhavan as Rakesh Khurrana, and his wife is Gautami Kapoor as Raji. Both of them refer to each other as Raji. And they are the modern, liberal, forward-looking couple. And they come, Aisha comes with Ashish, Ajay Devgan, to her parents to introduce her. She's not breaking the story directly. She goes to her sister-in-law, who's expecting a child, played Kittu, played by Ishita Datta. Her brother is Rohan, played by Tarun Gehlot. Now, every time there's a sensitive facet of the love affair, Kittu solves the issue by saying she's into labor, she shouts at the entire closely knit family runs, and then she says, no, it was just gas. And then the whole scenario is cool. Now, what's wrong? It's a love story. They are forward, modern, liberal parents, so what's the hassle? Where's the catch? The catch is the age. So, the parents, Rakesh and Raji, are unable to accept the huge age difference between Aisha and Ashish. And that becomes the stumbling block, and that is the story. Age is just a number, one would believe, one would recite, but that's, like so many cliches, is more hollow than haloed. And therefore, the entire story goes on. The pre-interval story is amazing. The editing by Chetan Solanki is very interesting. Love Ranjan writes the screenplay and story. I think he has his hand right on the pulse of the viewers and tells the story very interestingly. When Aisha, her own person, claims to have a very open, liberal, equal relationship with dad, things come crumbling when the parents do not accept Ashish simply because of the age factor. So she has a tiff with her father, walks out of him and goes back to Ashish. just before halftime, Dad comes back, accepts, says he's apologetic, and brings them all back from London to an even more palatial house somewhere in Punjab, where all of them are having parties. There is a bit of Karan Johar, there's a bit of Suraj Barjatiya, the mela, the dance, the song, and all that happening. And after the interval, in walks Aditya, played by Mizan Jafri, who's a childhood friend of Aisha. And suddenly there's a sparkling chemistry between the two of them, and Ashish takes the backstage. Soon Ashish realizes there's a great chemistry between Aditya and Aisha, as a consequence of which he walks out of the relationship. Does it end? No, obviously it doesn't. The film will have to get a more decent closure than me just walking off. So the story is about, does Aisha go to Ashish? Does Aisha go to her childhood friend Aditya? What happens? What is all this romance about? Why do the parents compromise? Then what happens is the story. Stand out in the film are three performances. Rakul Preet Singh, amazing performance. Apart from looking $1 million, I think she's performed with right amount of fizz, the revolt, the emotion, all of them tempered with the right quality and quantity that a cinema of this kind would require. Even when she goes over the board sometimes, you realize later why she did it. I think she's perfect in the cast of that film. Madhavan and Ajay recently shared screen space in Shaitan. So it's interesting that both of them come back together. And this time, I think, while Madhavan must get all the marks for playing such a brilliant role, it is very interesting that a seasoned actor like Ajay Devgan accepts the fact that this film is for Rakul Preet Singh and Madhavan and still comes into the film to leave his impact. Now this is what we call the confidence of an actor. Full marks to Ajay Devgan for allowing Madhavan and Rakul Preet Singh their space within the film. Don't forget, I must make a mention of Suhasini Mulay. What a cameo! She's there in the movie for about 5 to 10 minutes. Every second of her cameo is she. As the old grandma who doesn't like to be told that memory is fading, she gives the movie its required punch. She's amazing. Don't walk into the theatre a little late after the interval. Don't stand in the queue for your popcorn and your Coke. Get back. You're not going to miss Suhasini Mulay's performance for what it's worth. She is brilliant. I think what works with Dede Pyar De 2 is the chemistry between the dad and the daughter, Madhavan and Rakul Preet Singh. Great performances. They know where to stop. Their liberal, modern, contemporary, episodal interpretation is amazing. Sometimes the film gets a little soppy, but that is all right, Film directors have to cater to what we call the family audience, and this is a movie for the family. So, pass. I would definitely recommend Dede Pyar De 2 for Madhavan, for Rakul, and for Ajay Devgan. Dede Pyar De 2 is an interesting sleeper hit film. In the sense you don't expect too much out of it, and you're surprised to your wits that he keeps you engaged and entertained throughout the movie. The later part of the movie, few convulsions, a few tricky turns and twists, but again the last few minutes of the movie are extremely interesting. Go for it. Bye-bye.